It is Thursday evening, July 16, 2026. We'll be examining the recent market volatility and analyzing the price action of TQQQ over the last month. I want to be upfront with you right away. My TQQQ market value is slightly down from $47,000 last month to $46,300 this month. Compared to 2 months ago, it is significantly down from $55,600. I started this TQQQ challenge in December 2023 by investing just $1,000 in TQQQ. So far, I have invested a total of $20,300, which has grown to $46,300. Let's dig into exactly what happened and what I am planning to do about it. Let's begin with TQQQ's current status. TQQQ is currently trading around $70, slightly down from $71 last month. To understand where we are, let's revisit the full journey. TQQQ hit a prior all-time high of $60 on October 29, 2025. Then TQQQ plunged all the way down to $37 on March 30 during the Iran war crisis. After the temporary ceasefire announcement, TQQQ rebounded powerfully from March 31 all the way through June 3, when TQQQ hit a brand new all-time high of $88. During those 2 months, TQQQ shot straight up from $37 to $88. That is a 138% gain in just 2 months from the bottom. As I mentioned in previous videos, this V-shaped recovery was steeper than the 2025 recovery. In 2025, TQQQ climbed at about a 40-degree angle. In 2026, TQQQ climbed at about a 70-degree angle. And I specifically warned you since May that the faster you go up, the harder the pullbacks can be. That warning proved accurate once again. TQQQ has experienced 2 painful plunges over the past 4 weeks. First, TQQQ dropped from $88 all the way down to $66 on June 9 before rebounding back to $85. Then TQQQ dropped again from $85 down to near $70 multiple times. Looking at this TQQQ daily chart from Finviz, TQQQ is sitting just above the $70 support line. For the past month, TQQQ has managed to stay above this $70 level. If TQQQ cannot hold this $70 support line, it may fall further down to the SMA 200 line. This is the level we need to watch most closely right now. Remember, TQQQ is engineered to deliver 3 times the daily returns of QQQ, which represents the Nasdaq 100. This index includes some of the most powerful companies in the world: Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Micron, Amazon, AMD, Google, and Tesla. So understanding the Nasdaq 100's health is absolutely critical to our TQQQ strategy. The market demonstrated incredible resilience earlier this year, climbing from a war crisis low of $555 on March 30, 2026 all the way to a new all-time high of $748 on June 3. That was a 35% surge in just 2 months. Currently, QQQ sits at $705, positioned below the SMA 50 purple line. Today is actually the first day QQQ has been significantly below the SMA 50 purple line since April 8, when QQQ originally broke above it. From April 8 all the way to yesterday, QQQ stayed above or right at the SMA 50 purple line for over 3 months straight. Since TQQQ is now below this key level, I will be closely monitoring whether QQQ can rebound quickly or whether it needs to test the SMA 200 green line first. Back on May 22, I published a video titled QQQ Fibonacci Analysis, $720 Resistance and $828 Price Target Explained. In that video, I explained how QQQ was battling the 161.8% Fibonacci Golden Ratio extension at $720. QQQ has now been wrestling with this exact $720 resistance line for the past 2 months since May 2026. This mirrors what happened with the prior 127.2% Fibonacci extension at $614, where QQQ consolidated near or below that level for 5 full months from November 2025 to March 2026. Let's continue watching whether QQQ can finally break above this $720 resistance level in the coming weeks or months. Since our channel emphasizes long-term investing, let me show you this monthly QQQ chart for proper perspective. Even with this month's pullback, the bigger picture remains truly remarkable. QQQ has stayed above the SMA 50 purple line continuously from 2009 all the way through 2026. QQQ has also remained above the SMA 20 black line most of the time since 2009, with the 2022 bear market being the notable exception. QQQ still sits well above the SMA 200 green line. Over the past 17 years, QQQ has been in price discovery mode, consistently hitting new record highs. Notice the three parallel lines: the SMA 20 black line on top, the SMA 50 purple line in the middle, and the SMA 200 green line at the bottom. This stacking order, where shorter-term averages sit above longer-term ones, remains the classic signature of a healthy, sustained bull market. I firmly believe this 17-year bull market has strong legs to continue for many more years, even through short-term pullbacks like the one we are experiencing now. Turning to the economic outlook, the latest GDP Now forecast projects U.S. GDP growth for the second quarter of 2026 at just 1.7%, somewhat down from the 2.5% estimate last month. A 1.7% growth rate falls into what economists call the modest slowdown category. For comparison, U.S. GDP growth showed a negative 0.6% contraction in Q1 2025, 3.8% growth in Q2, 4.4% growth in Q3, 0.5% growth in Q4 2025, and 2.1% growth in Q1 2026. The CME FedWatch tool continues to suggest the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates once in September this year, consistent with last month's prediction. Since interest rate policy is probably the single most important macro factor for TQQQ investing, we will keep a very close eye on upcoming inflation data. Meanwhile, Polymarket shows the perceived probability of a U.S. recession in 2026 has decreased slightly from 11% in June to just 10% today. This is the lowest recession probability recorded since October 2025. Keep in mind that peak recession odds for 2025 hit 66% on Polymarket, yet no recession ever materialized. History appears to be repeating itself. The Fear and Greed Index climbed from 25 in the extreme fear category last month up to 40 in the fear category this month. Sentiment is recovering, but we are not yet back to greed territory. Let's check our portfolio performance. I have not added any TQQQ shares since last month. After buying TQQQ at $43, $44, $45, and $46 in February, I had hoped to buy even more below $35. However, TQQQ rebounded too quickly after touching $37 in March, so those lower limit orders never filled. My phased investment approach remains straightforward and disciplined. I deploy small amounts of capital when TQQQ drops toward the SMA 200 green line, and I keep the largest portion of my cash ready if price falls decisively below that level. I also carefully watch secondary indicators like volume, RSI, and MACD to confirm my investment decisions before pulling the trigger. Now let's look at the actual numbers. Currently, I hold 658 shares of TQQQ with an average cost basis of $30.89. My portfolio is valued at approximately $46,300, with total unrealized gains of about $26,000. That translates to a 128% return. This is slightly down from the 131% return and $47,000 market value I reported last month. But let's keep this in proper perspective. My $20,300 total investment is still worth $46,300 today. Even with this month's modest pullback, the long-term thesis remains completely intact. My total capital investment remains approximately $20,300. My investment plan is crystal clear. Since December 2023, I have targeted around $12,000 per year. My goal is to commit a total of $36,000 by the end of November 2026, fulfilling my $12,000 annual investment target for this 3-year period. I have not sold a single TQQQ share since 2023 and do not plan to unless I see unmistakable signals of an imminent, severe market crash similar to the 2000 dot-com bubble crash or the 2008 financial crisis. My long-term goal remains absolutely unwavering: invest $360,000 over 30-plus years to achieve multi-million-dollar portfolio growth. For the full rationale behind this strategy, watch my video Cash vs. SPY vs. QQQ vs. QLD vs. TQQQ, 30-year showdown. My investment methodology rests firmly on 4 core principles that guide every single decision I make. First, monthly investing, consistently committing about $12,000 a year into TQQQ. Second, enhanced dollar cost averaging, or EDCA, buying more aggressively during market downturns and less or not at all during market peaks. Third, sell before crashes. I will only exit when I see clear, unmistakable signals of a major market collapse, with full intent to reinvest at substantially lower prices. Fourth, no margin. I strictly avoid all forms of debt to ensure financial security and minimize overall risk exposure. Let me close with the key takeaways from July 2026. TQQQ pulled back to $70 after hitting an all-time high of $88 just weeks earlier. QQQ dipped below the SMA 50 purple line for the first time since April 8th. My portfolio sits at $46,300 with 128% returns, a modest step down from last month but still overwhelmingly positive. The $720 Fibonacci resistance level on QQQ remains the key battleground to watch. And recession odds continue falling, now at just 10%. The financial markets continue evolving rapidly, driven by relentless technological innovation and the explosive expansion of AI. Our mission is simple: stay laser-focused, maintain unwavering discipline, and remain deeply committed to our long-term investment framework. Thank you for joining this month's update. If you found this analysis helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you never miss new content. Your continuous support gives incredible energy and purpose to this challenge. Until the next update, take care, stay disciplined, and happy investing.